your party will be recorded and archived for playback. with someone that has a different view than your own? Then let's talk with one another. Then let's reason with one another on a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday. The recording started. Friday at 9 p.m. and Sunday at 12 noon on WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR. Why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning? You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go live with a scriptural discussion.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the hunger and thirst for His righteousness, I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. I want to get right into our reminding of the citizens of Detroit saying no to a property tax so their property tax will go down, especially in this time where people are losing jobs and economic depression. Sister Agnes Hitchcock brought this to our attention, and it's wonderful to have people who look and see things that could cause us unnecessary trouble and harm and heartache and worry, and they give us a warning. So, Sister Agnes, are you there?
Yes.
Well, the microphone is yours, sister.
Thank you. Tonight I want to tell you about a couple of things. I want to tell the people that sometimes I say it really fast sometimes and not thinking about what I'm saying. What's taken place in the city of Detroit was deliberate. Just think about this. If a house is empty, it has no life in it, and it starts to deteriorate. So in the city of Detroit, when they started this rash of property tax foreclosure, they would foreclose on the property, evict the person who was living there, let the house sit without any life in it over a period of time, and I call it rot. And the property would rot with no life in it. So time and time again, year after year after year.
Just a minute, Sister Agnes.
Yes, sir.
Now I want y'all to understand, she ain't lying to you. We exhale carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is to wood, to trees, and all of that, the same as oxygen is to us. It's life to them. When nobody's living in a house, it goes down, it deteriorates quick, very quick, as opposed, comparatively, compared to when someone is living in a house. Because when people living in there, that carbon dioxide is being utilized by that wood, and it helps to preserve the wood. So, okay, sister, go ahead.
Where I'm going with this is the elected officials in the city of Detroit created this rot. They created this sadness by foreclosing on people's property, evicting them, and at times selling that same property. They'd foreclose on a property in the city of Detroit, evict the person who was living there, and then allow speculators to buy up properties in lots. Just, I would say 100 houses, 200 houses, 500 houses, or something like that. The speculators didn't particularly sell these properties to homeowners. They just held on to the properties. So the city allowed investors to buy up lots. When I say lots, I keep explaining that 100 houses is a lot to me. 400 houses is a lot. So they would allow them to buy these properties, and that was it. They didn't make them maintain them. They didn't make them sell them. And there were even times when investors would buy these houses, 3 or 4 houses at one time, and not pay any taxes on them. So when they bought these properties that someone had been evicted from, foreclosed and evicted from, they would buy these properties and they didn't do anything with them. So what I'm saying is the city of Detroit created this devastation that they're asking us to pass a tax to clear up blight. That was blight that did not need to happen in the city of Detroit. The blight was created deliberately. Now they want to ask us to pay to clean up blight that they caused. Doesn't make sense to me. So it's my opinion that they did it to drive black people out of the city of Detroit, and they've done a great job of doing that. And that's one of the reasons why, that is a big reason why we should vote no on proposal in the election next Tuesday. To just, not have them pay, not have us pay for blight they cause, which is going to cause a hardship on the remaining property owners in the city of Detroit. So things in the campaign is doing well. I didn't complain. I live on a block where there's like 3 occupied houses on one side of the street. And I'm always maintaining around where I live, so there's an alley there. Since no one's there, I just park my car in the alley. So somehow, at 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody came down and taken out the left front section of my car. I used to be in, my background is body shop. I managed them. So anyway, they took out the right front fender on my car. And I've never believed that anything I did was important enough for anybody to notice. So I just sort of like shook that off. And then I was fortunate enough somebody brought transportation to me, put the car in the yard, put the key in it, and said, drive it. They even left a credit card in it for gas. That was nice. So then as time goes on, all of the yard signs, not all, I can never say all, many of the yard signs that we purchased for vote no on proposal in and put around the city, they've been like removed. I was out recently and I actually saw a city truck and a driver pull the yard sign up from where somebody had placed it and put it in the truck. And by the time I could make a U-turn in traffic and get back, he was pulling off, so I didn't follow him. So the banners that we put up around the city, they've been vandalized and destroyed. So it behooves me that these people, it's been announced that they have $3 million to run a campaign to ensure that Proposal E passes. And I cannot imagine for the life of me why they would be bothered with this little tiny campaign that we're running in the city of Detroit.
It's worth it to them, Sister Agnes. If they can spend $3 million and get $250 million in exchange, it's worth it.
That's a good investment.
That's what you're looking at there. And city workers, people driving a city truck, going around taking the signs.
I actually saw the city truck, and the guy I saw with the signs in his hand, and when I saw the city truck sitting there, I'm like, "Is that guy putting that sign in the truck?" And he actually put the sign in the truck and drove off with it.
Now let me tell you something. All of this shows you the power of unity. Now, if we just actually start showing each other that we are concerned for one another. Generally, when people know you're genuinely concerned for them, they have a little reciprocity in that. They consider you a friend, and they'll trust you to a degree. Once we really get to the point where we have some trust in each other, it won't make no difference how much money somebody spends to try to trick us into doing something. When someone that we trust tell us, don't do that, don't go that way, we're going to listen to our friend rather than them strangers who spending all their millions to try to get us to do something that's not in our best interest. Now, I'm not telling you that we all saints on here. I told you a long time ago, I ain't no saint. I still don't know why Allah chose me. But the fact of the matter is, I do care about my people. And my evil, I try to keep that to myself. And Sister Agnes, I've been knowing her since around, I think around 2004, 2005, 15 years. And she has always been an activist, someone who was active. When I say activist, I'm talking about somebody who's active in the community, doing something that she thought would help our people. And so, I mean, even if this current administration, this stuff started before a lot of them got in there. But instead of coming in there, earning our trust, you just want to hit the ground and just tell us, let's do this or do that. And you haven't shown us that you're not going to do us like the administrations before you. No, so until you respect us enough to come to us and talk to us and have open discussion about going in our pocket, spending our money, and discuss it with us. Convince us that it's worth doing, and convince us to trust you to do it. But then we have to say no. Not, I mean, it's just like whenever no matter if this administration didn't have nothing to do with all that blighted stuff that came up before it, they inherited it. Well, if you inherited a situation, then you should be interested in finding out what caused it and making sure that you don't add to the problem instead of being a solution to it. And right now, when you start off taking $600 million from us and then tell us that you took it and you wasn't supposed to, but yet you can't give it back because you spent the money. And then you come back and ask us to give you 250 million more. Something just ain't right about that. So, Sister Agnes is right. We should not vote yes on something that we can't trust the ones to do what they telling us that they're gonna do when they take our money. Go ahead, Sister Agnes.
And let me be clear. He did not just inherit the $600 million situation. he participated in it. His administration came into the office. It was 13 or 14. The overtaxation took place from 10 to 16 and possibly 17. So he is not with, Mike Duggan is not without blame.
I didn't know
A few years,
he was in there. He's been in there since 2010. I didn't know that.
no, not 2010. This, so 8 from 11 leaves 3. So we're going to say he came in somewhere around 13 or 14.
Okay. All right.
Credit for at least half of the investment. And you know how we say when you want to take credit for the successes, you get credit for the failures.
Well, that
He
goes
at
with the
least-
territory. You have to. I mean, you can't on the one hand say what was done in the past was wrong, but yet you come in doing the same thing that you said was wrong. It's like these people that used to claim that it was their fathers who did all of that enslavement of us. But now these are the children and they walking around with guns and all this kind of stuff trying to prevent us from being able to vote and doing all kind of things. It's not their fathers doing it now, it's them. Which in that day, it would have been us. Go ahead, sister. You know, you can't take the credit. You can't take the credit and don't take the blame.
Okay, he participated in half of it. And then a bad part about him, Mike Duggan, is that a few years back he says, we're going to give you a tax reduction. We're going to lower the taxes. They lower the taxes. They stop stealing from us. So that's a sleight of hand. That I call that rope-a-dope. That's a 3-card Molly. You've been stealing from me. You were caught, and now you say you're going to lower my taxes? Creative ideas about how to make restitution, but it's not enough. If you take somebody that they really didn't owe, then at some point later you say, well, we're going to sell you a house at 50%. That is what's fair, is the people that you drove out of the city of Detroit by taking their properties for taxes they didn't owe. And it's, you know, that administration, we can't trust them. It's not a matter of, in a few years, show us some trust. We can't trust them. He was this way before he came into office. He was this way while he's in office, and I don't see any hope for him in the future. So until we get a new administration in the city of Detroit, I say let our taxes expire. Those proposals that they keep bringing to us, it is us who approve them because we don't vote on them. We have to vote no. Then our taxes will begin to go down, and they will have less money to mismanage in the city of Detroit. So that is a very good reason to vote no on proposal N.
Now, if it's someone from the mayor's office or this administration that's listening that want to chime in, we'll hear you and stay on the phone so we can ask some questions and get some answers. I mean, that's the problem with people that get elected now. They get elected to positions and they start treating the people like the people is their servants or something. When you get elected to a position of authority, the people are not your servants. You are their servant. They should be able to call you and talk to you. How are you representing people if they can't talk to you? And if they express some displeasure with something you're doing, why not just say, well, okay, we put that on hold until we have further discussion about it. We'll table it. But you just bowl over people. And that's wrong. Many of them talk about me because I fuss and go on with people, but at least people can talk to me. Then some of them get mad because I talk back. But at least I put myself out here. I mean, I can listen to people fuss and go on, and I really believe I can convince a person that I'm right if I'm right. And if you thought you was really right, you wouldn't have no problem coming out here talking to us. Go ahead, Miss Agnes.
They created this situation, and even our people start to believe that we're responsible for this. They created it. Sometimes people set you up for something. They created this blight situation in the city of Detroit. They created this situation by everybody expects a city to pick up garbage regularly and good. They created this situation. We have 3 casinos in the city of Detroit. And I often tell people, where do you find 3 casinos and you see no benefit? We didn't get better schools when we had 3 casinos. We didn't get better recreation. We didn't get any benefits from 3 casinos in the city of Detroit at all. So this is a situation that they set up and created. And I always tell people that casinos are created to take your money. They're not designed for you to win. So they set the casinos up in the city of Detroit. And people often start chasing the dream, and a lot of money go that way. But we see no appreciable benefit in the city of Detroit from having 3 casinos. And one of my favorite words is, who does that? Who has 3 casinos and you can't maintain Belle Isle? Who has 3 casinos and you don't have better schools? You drive your school. They drive the schools into the ground. So I'm encouraging people to vote no on Proposal N, because there comes a time when you just don't want anybody to pick your pocket anymore. So we got 7 more days. And if anybody wants to participate, we still need people to man the early voting polls, and the polls are 874-2792. 313-874-2792. And if anybody got any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
Any questions? Okay. Well, Sister Agnes, I'm going to look for you again Friday.
Okay, I'll see you then.
All righty.
All right, good night.
Good night. Now, I want to say, we can do this together, and then we can start having some heart-to-heart conversations whenever you all want to, and just talk about politics. And since we involved in it, we need to understand it. I mean, I was thinking about this voter situation. Now, you notice these people, they go all over the world convincing people of the democratic system of government. Then after they've convinced you that democracy is the way you should go, the very ones who spent all that time trying to convince you to go along with democracy, when you decide you want to participate in it, then they the first one to come and try to block you from participating. What in the hell wrong with you? You remember that Joker character on Batman? They say like a dog chasing a car. Wouldn't know what to do with it if he caught it. They convinced everybody. Now everybody trying to go along with democracy. And the very one who convinced them to go wrong with it, now trying to stop them from practicing it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said that the scientists have agreed that the white race is disagreeable to live with in peace. Now, I'm your only hope. I'm the only one that ain't really got no desire to, I don't want to do nothing to nobody but help them. Because that's what I was born for. That's why I done did so many things. I ain't like you. I done did enough wrong myself to keep me down off of a high horse. And you notice, Jesus didn't ride into the Jerusalem on no stallion. He came in there on a donkey. That is a metaphor that, when you done did a lot of the things that people that are condemned have done, and yet you've been forgiven. And God even said to me, he said, I don't even have to ask for no forgiveness. Sin offerings he didn't require of me. Because it's written, in all of your afflictions, I would be afflicted. Well, then, common sense teach me, don't be walking around here with my nose all stuck up, acting like, holier than thou. So I try my best to just be down to earth with people. You notice I'm very down to earth. And we talk, we fuss with each other. And I know I fuss, you fuss. And sometimes I know you get mad at me, but sometimes I get mad at you. But I don't forget what my job is. If I'm fussing with you, it really is not personal till you make it personal. Just like people coming in here, don't know me. I don't know them from nothing. They come up, people coming up to you. Hey, Marvin. Then you look around. You say, "Who are you? I don't know nothing about you. How you know my name? I don't know you, but you know me." To me, that's disrespectful. I just can't do people. I can't go up to somebody because somebody told me their name. I walk up to them and call them. So if I was gonna call him now, I say Mr. Sons. I ask him what's his last name. I ain't gonna go up there calling that man by his first name. I don't know him. That's insulting. If you wasn't such a devil, you would know that. But anyway, it's just like people come in here, and I've offered them $50,000 if they can show me that I'm not the Son of Man. $50,000. Do you know that's a lot of money? I hadn't wanted to play this tape for you because I've been trying my best, like I tried my best to stop what the messenger said was going to happen to the Nation of Islam. The said Nation of Islam. For that's what he called it in the lessons. He said, what is the birth record of the said Nation of Islam? Well, it's the same thing he said about us when he called us Negroes. He said the so-called American Negro. Because that's not really what we are. That's what they called us. Do you understand? The said Nation of Islam. There ain't no such thing as a Nation of Islam that you can claim is full of hypocrites. It's not a Nation of Islam if it's full of hypocrites. For God is not a hypocrite. Submission to the will of God does not produce hypocrisy. Do you understand? So when he said that the nation, the said Nation of Islam is going to go all the way down to almost nothing, all of us heard that teaching. Anyone who was in the Nation of Islam when the messenger was here heard that teaching. And it came from all of the ministers. At some point in time, all of them reminded us that the messenger said that. Minister Farrakhan, Minister Abdul Kareem, I know I heard them say it. He said that the nation is going to go down to almost nothing. And all of them were sitting around his table, and they kind of, their faces, it reflected on their faces that they just couldn't believe, and that was so disappointing. He looked at them and said, don't worry, it will be rebuilt, never to fall again. I hadn't told you, I played this for you before, but I had not really elaborated on it much because I didn't see it coming like I see it coming now. There's certain things we hate to see. It's just like I was talking to one of the brothers today, and I was telling him that I can't. When it comes to like white people, a lot of our people mad at white people. I told him, you can't be mad at a creature for being what God made him. What you need to do is try to figure out why God made him. For he did say, seek and you shall find. Of course, in order to do what the words say, you had to first understand the word. And I'm the only one who understood it. I was made to understand it and to teach it to you. So I not only saw that the white man is the devil, but I saw why he was made. The scripture is right there in the scripture that God led Jesus out in the wilderness to be tested by the devil. Ain't that something? You mean God let the devil do these things to get people to do wrong? Yeah, exactly. If for no other reason to show you that you ain't all that in a bag of chips. Because without God, the devil have dominion over you forever. Did you hear me? And then he showed the devil something. It's just like, let me show you something. Here this man, wow, this is rich. I like to, well, it's already on there. I like to show you things that will prove to you that everything that not just prove to you that everything I'm saying to you is the truth, but prove to you that you had better listen to me, because ain't nothing you doing that the end of it ain't gonna be your destruction if you don't follow me. Now I know you think that everything goes. Let me tell you something. There are many ways to do something and achieve something, but it's only one best way, which means there's only really one right way. For the best way is the right way. I didn't hear you. Because if you don't learn the best way, you're always going to be learning the wrong way. And someone who knows the best way will beat you out of the job every time. Did you hear what I said? It don't make no difference what field you in. When the best way show up, the wrong way becomes very visible. Just like right now. The true religion has showed up. Now you can't even get nobody to come in here and discuss their religion with me. Now, come in here and discuss your religion with me.
Excuse me, something now.
Yes.
Someone named Jim says, answer the, and he says, damn phone.
Say what?
Jim, he says, answer the damn phone.
What you mean, answer the phone? What's his number? I'll call him if he can't get through. Ain't no problem. Ain't no dams around our phone. But if you want to, if you trying to reach us, then put his number. What's the phone number? I'll give him a call now. Oh, he blocking his number? Okay, well, get your number. We'll call you up if you can't. Brother Michael, has somebody got their hand up? Oh, ain't nobody scared of you, boy. You come on in there and let's talk. I love to meet somebody like that. You know, answer the damn phone, man. All right. But our phone ain't damned up. Ain't no blocks on my phone for you. Now, let's get back to this while he getting up some nerve. You know, they talk real tough until they get me to say something to them, then they get nervous. Oh man. Let's see here. Oh, sure.
Capita in the country and
Y'all give me a minute here. I'm looking for something here. Oh, there it is. It's right there in front of me. Let's see here.
family's future.
Now, you know, this here is gonna make my point. You see, I love to have something to make the point.
Richard J. Trask II is a special agent with the FBI, and he tells the story in a written affidavit accompanying the federal criminal complaint. Agent Trask specifies that he and the FBI know much more than what they have revealed in the affidavit. Quote, this affidavit is intended to show merely that there is sufficient probable cause to support the issuance of a criminal complaint and does not set forth all of my knowledge about this matter. Special Agent Trask says that investigators have been following this plot since early this year. The FBI infiltrated the group with undercover agents and converted at least 2 members of the group to become informers for the FBI. On July 24th of this year, Adam Fox, one of the group's leaders, said in a phone call that was recorded by one of the FBI's informers, "In all honesty, right now, I just want to make the world glow, dude. I'm not even effing kidding. I just want to make it all glow, dude. I don't effing care anymore. I'm just so sick of it."
Now, who made this world? They did. So if he's sick of it, whose fault is that? Huh? They hate democracy now. They made it, and now they don't want to practice it. After they convinced everybody else to practice it, and now everybody voting, and now people voting, and the vote ain't going the way they want it to go. So now they don't want to. You remember the little boy that had the best, all of them. Well, in my community, when I was growing up, we had little brother had baseballs, the bats and the gloves and everything. He had enough to have a whole game based out of his toys, you know. And but he wanted to play until he started losing. Then he take his ball and bat. He take everything and go home. He don't want to play no more. Sometime when nobody choose him, and he just take his stuff and go home. That is the mentality of these people. Now you notice these is white boys talking to each other. He just want to make it glow. He want to burn it all down to do what? Just so he can build it back up again and start all over again. But he couldn't start it over again. He too dumb. You see any future George Washingtons and Thomas Jeffersons and stuff out here? When the last time you met some white folks that you could claim is these youngsters coming up that's equal to them men? As I was telling my brother, I said, God made white people for a reason. Too bad people didn't look a little deeper, dig a little deeper. God made Abraham a promise. He told Abraham, look up there at them stars, Abraham. I'm going to multiply your seeds just as them stars. Huh? Man, them stars is innumerable, ain't they? You know it's a certain amount of number of them. But the stars don't go all over the universe. If you went far enough, you run into darkness again. But even in that darkness, there is unmanifested light. You could be out of starlight, but it's still material out there. But anyway, that's a conversation we will have in more depth, especially in the hereafter. But now, this boy, all he know to do, see, he done reached his limit. He done reached his limit, and he's sick of his own world. Look at what he said. In all honesty, right now, I just want to make the world glow, dude. I'm not even effing kidding. I just want to make it all glow, dude. I don't effing care anymore. I'm just so sick of it. He don't realize he can't stand himself. He's sick of his world. Ain't that something? Now something is about to take place that, I mean, I see it coming. The messengers told me that it was going to come, and I was hoping that I could maybe talk some sense into you and make you change your mind. But you don't seem to want to change your mind. You just look at what these people just did. They think it's in the legislatures in Michigan, the highest court in Michigan, said it's okay for these people to bring their weapons around the place, the voting precincts. I think they have to stand back a certain distance or whatnot, but they can still carry their weapons. They're just itching to shed somebody's blood. What? You think your little rifle and your pistols and stuff don't frighten and terrorize us? No. I'm gonna tell all of you, don't be scared of them cowards, and don't be scared of their guns. Soon you won't have to even look at them kind of people no more. That's why Allah letting them all come out, so he can get rid of all of them at the same time. See, that's the worst thing you can do to a bully is don't be scared of him. Because everything he's doing is to try to put fear in you. Because he's afraid. I tell you what, you know this. You saw, what was that? First I'll give you a movie. What's that movie where the Avatar? Remember Avatar? You remember when the fella got on his bird and flew above the last shadow? He said he don't never look up because he ain't never feared nothing jumping on him. Right? Okay. Well, see, he's just that tough that he don't have to try to make other creatures afraid of him because they just naturally afraid of him. Huh? If them boys was really tough, they wouldn't even think they needed a gun. Do you understand? See, all his courage is in that gun. He depends on that gun to make you scared of him. Do you understand me? Is this the home of the brave? I mean, what is it? The land of the free and the home of the brave. Is it or not? Well, if it's the land of the free and the home of the brave, were you trembling because some little rocks in his pocket fool walking around with a gun in the middle of people who are unarmed, thinking that somehow he's showing how tough he is? All he's doing is showing you how scared he is. I'm still waiting on that boy that told me to answer the phone. What are you waiting on, man? Come on in here. Send him the number. Send him all the numbers. Tell him quit faking, sitting up there talking about answer the phone like somebody ducking him. Why y'all ought to quit? But anyway, yes. Well, I was listening at the news. Maybe I heard it wrong. But, I mean, it don't make no difference where they carrying guns at. I mean, let me tell you something. Even the police, man. Now, the police, they got guns. But they have holsters, kind of. They ain't walking around with them at port arms, because these boys walking around here with jungle fatigues on and got all this stuff on, trying to make themselves look tough. If he was really tough, he wouldn't have to try to make himself look tough. Do you understand? Ain't nothing about that. They ain't about nothing. Don't pay them clowns no attention. And I'll tell you something else. Brave people don't take orders from cowards. You see all these generals telling you that Donald Trump ain't fit to be over the military? You saw Admiral, what's the Admiral's name that was over SEAL Team 6? Admiral McCraven? What was his name? McCraven? He came out publicly and told you Donald Trump he's a threat to this nation. Anytime you put a coward over a military, that coward puts your nation in danger, because he will try to use the military to bully people. Because he's a damned coward. And them young men deserve better than that. They're ready to lay down their life for their country, and you want to put them in there to lay down their life for a fool. And all of them that's walking around here armed to the teeth, why don't you join the military, man? If you so tough, join the military. You get in the Marine Corps, he kick your behind from one end of the camp to the other one, because you a coward. Big old fat lazy self. Now call up here and tell me how I'm insulting you. The numbers to the conference rooms is area code 601-909-9135. The access code to the conference room is 968-280. You don't have to push pound or nothing. Okay? If you don't want to call into that room, you can call the same number, 601-909-9135, and enter this access code, 258-055. And that'll put you into the conference room. If you don't want to call that one, you can call area code 770-4160. And the access code for that one is 869571. And then you push the pound key for that one. And that'll put you in here to talk to me. If you don't want to call them, call the station and they will pipe you in. And the number to the station is area code 313-868-0351, 868-0342, 868-4336. Don't be sitting up lying, trying to make people think that nobody will answer the phone. You just a lie. Now, and I'm going to warn you before you come in here. You come in here cussing, I'm going to throw your behind in hell. You know? It's like some nut called me up telling me he Master Farad Muhammad. I told him don't keep calling me. He kept calling me. I threw him in hell. I'm not playing no games with you. Now, this is what I really didn't want to. I was hoping that I could maybe talk you down and put this off for a while. I know I can't change prophecy. Whatever a messenger of God, when a prophet says something, you might can postpone it, but you ain't gonna stop it from happening. It's just gonna happen. I mean, a good example. Look at everything you tried to do to keep the Son of Man from being born. But here I am. You remember the counterintelligence program to stop the rise of a black Messiah? Now look what happened. You didn't stop nothing. You cannot stop the word of God from being fulfilled. It just can't happen. Now I'm gonna let you hear it from the messenger, because I see what's going on. I see you trying to. It got postponed a little bit by President Obama being in office. When that confrontation took place, you've seen a little of it with David Koresh and some of these. But with David Koresh, it was the federal government against the people of Davidian thing, you know. But the fact of the matter is, you have built up a world that people can't find peace in. And instead of getting people to trust in God, you switched it from trust in God, or in God we trust, to in the gun we trust. You got people talking about the gun. They got the gun. They got to defend themselves. And if you ask them, defend yourself from what? From your neighbor? You got to defend yourself from your neighbor. You know, you done completely abandoned believing in God. And to hear them talk, you wouldn't think it wasn't but one amendment in the Constitution, and they done misrepresented it. I mean, they don't even represent the Second Amendment like it was meant. The Second Amendment never was put in there for what you're talking about. It gave you that from the beginning. You notice, and now one of them came in here and contradicted my interpretation of the Second Amendment, because it starts off with a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the state. The right of the people to keep and to bear arms shall not be infringed. Huh? Well, it goes to tell you about what people. It's talking about the people of the militia. Ain't talking about these nuts walking around here taking, carrying weapons on them and sitting down, call themselves eating lunch at McDonald's or somewhere. You sitting up in there with a rifle. For what? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. Let me put that in language you can understand. Ye are of your mind the devil, and the lusts of your wicked mind you will do. That mind was a murderer's mind from the beginning, and did not abide in truth. Because there ain't no truth in it. What truth? That mind did not abide in God's word. That mind abided only in natural laws, natural knowledge. So that mind is the mind of a thinking animal. And you tell on yourself when you say the first law of nature is self-preservation. That's only the first law of nature for animals. That's not the first law for man. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. He said nothing about no self-preservation. Obedience to the Creator. That's our first law. Devil. So, you trust in the gun, I trust in Allah. Now let's see who wins. So now, let me let you hear this because this is what's on the way. I can't. I see you just bent on bloodshed. So, just a moment. Let me get it up. I don't relish it, but since I can't stop it, I just want to let you hear it. Maybe you can avoid it. Don't you take part in it. Now remember, he that taketh the sword shall perish by the sword.
If that you and me do his will, the will of God. If that you and me do his will, do his bidding, so that he can bless us for our good work and not our evil work. Well, don't be in a hurry. You want to hear me speak? Well, I do. We have a last bit of time, whether you believe it or not, that the will of God will be done now. The will of Satan has been done been doing for the last 6,000 years. His time now is up, and the will of him that is prophesied that will come after him, that will build a kingdom of peace and righteousness, is here at the work now. I'm what they call some of them forerunners, but I'm heed to what I call myself, that last messenger from God to direct you in a path that will lead you to him. And that you will be saved from the destruction that is out there knocking on the door. You're going to have a terrible time here before this enemy heals to get out of the way. Yes, it's awful to talk about. You're going to have people killing each other out there in the street, and the blood running down in the gutter all the street. Now, pretty soon it could happen tonight, because the time is here. Be you careful. Don't forget that it is time that you go to yoga. To have people killing each other out there in the street, and the blood running down in the gutter
of the street. You're gonna have people killing each other out there in the street, and the blood running down in the gutter of the street. Now, pretty soon, it could happen tonight.
Did you hear that? Now, don't say I didn't try to save you from that. I did try to stop you from that. I tried to warn you away from trying to murder one another. I tried to make peace with you. Tried to get you to make peace with one another. But you just of the mind, the devil. You sit up and you manufacture a reason to hate, just like your so-called hatred of me and black people. Of course, now, if I asked you to come in here and tell me what we did to you, all you do is project, like that Dylan Roof character. He went in there and projected all of the things that they did to us. He projected that onto us as though we did it to him. Talking about we raped they women and all that kind of stuff. You lying devil. I know black men. I know me. It's beneath my dignity as a man to be talking about raping a woman. I ain't got to rape no woman. If you don't want me, I don't need you. Don't want you. Don't even act like you don't want to be with me. I'll leave you alone. Don't care how bad I want you. I sure ain't gonna rape you. So, man, you ought to have more pride in your manhood than that. He ain't got no pride. That's why you can't shame him. You got to have some pride to stop you from doing things that make you look stupid or make you look weak in the eyes of other human beings. But he convinced himself that all of the characteristics that he does not possess, like empathy and the ability to feel for, that's what empathy is, the ability to feel for other people and to be compassionate to others. He considers that a weakness because he don't have it. And it's his weakness, all right. He just a weak fool. Walking around here following his animal instinct. I couldn't do to no people what was done to us. There's no way I could do to anybody what white people did to us. I couldn't do that to them. I just couldn't do it. That's why God made them. Because if Abraham's seed was going to get multiplied, if Abraham didn't ask him how. Because if he'd asked him how, he said, Lord, you going to do that? He said, no. There's some things you don't want to ask no questions about. You understand? So he told Abraham, your seed going to be multiplied. And then he told Abraham, like, look, your seed going to be a stranger in a land that's not there. They're going to serve them. And they're going to afflict them for 400 years. And, it took 600 years to make white people, and took 400 years to get to us, to get to the first one. You know, this new type of black man. And so now, and the earth The whole earth had to be made dead. You see? And so now I'm the resurrection. Now you see why I was put in there. I am the resurrection and the life. Why? Because I am the word made flesh. Remember Jesus said, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are what? Life. Well, I am the resurrection and I am the life. And no man cometh unto the Father but by me. As Jesus told you the Father. He said, all things, it's written for me to say this. All things are delivered unto me of my Father. And no man knows who the Son is but the Father. That's why when people come in here to you ain't no son of man, you ain't no son. I said, how would you know? If I asked them, oh, so you the Father? They wouldn't even know why I asked them that. You know why they wouldn't know? Because they don't know what the scripture says. It says, no man know who the Son is but the Father, nor any man the Father but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal him. Well, I'm revealing the truth to you now. The truth is the Father. The truth is the Son. The truth is the Holy Spirit. And I am the truth in flesh. The Word has been made flesh and is dwelling among you now. Now, do you believe? It's no one knows me but the Father and myself. And we are one. I and my Father are one. You see, ain't you one with the mind that's in you? Well, then I'm one with the mind that's in me. But the mind that's in me is the mind that was in Christ. The mind that's in you is the mind of the devil. Any of you all who say the mind that's in you ain't the devil, come and unmute your phone and let's have a conversation. I'll prove to you that you got the mind of the devil and you are the devil's servant. And the only one who can set you free is me. Now, if you don't believe it, you unmute your phone and let's have a conversation. He that is of God heareth God's words. You therefore hear them not, because you are not of God. See, I know how to do away with all this this he said, she said, and we don't know who's right and we don't know. Oh yeah, I know who's right and I know who's wrong. When you know a thing, you can prove it. See, white folks ain't as out of the loop as they've been acting. You see, ain't none of them coming in here calling themselves arguing with me anymore. Now, all of you who look like me should take a lesson from that. The religion you got it from white people. And the one who gave you Christianity, he ain't coming in here telling me that Christianity is God's religion and Jesus was a Christian and Jesus made people Christian. He ain't coming here and tell me that. He got you believing that lie. And when I backed some of his so-called champions like Geno Jennings and all, backed them into a corner, he said, we've heard enough. This ain't going nowhere. Wasn't going nowhere. You know why it wasn't going nowhere? Because he had been talking to people who claimed to be followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that didn't understand the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, how in the world you gonna follow somebody if you can't understand what they're telling you? Huh? But when he met me, it didn't go like he thought it was gonna go. You needn't think you're going to bedazzle me because you can quote a few Bible verses. I wouldn't care if you can quote the Bible forwards and backwards. I don't care if you can quote the Holy Quran forward and backwards. I know the difference in being able to quote something and being able to understand what you're quoting. I understand. All you're doing is just quoting. Because I'm the only one that Allah gave understanding to. That's why he said, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel, unto the world of Jacob that he done built up. Therefore, understand the words of my messengers and give them warning from me. Now you keep on walking around here with these guns and stuff, and you're going to be in for a shock after a while. Your mind going to back up on you. You're going to be murdering each other. Just mark my word. And you done seen that happen before. You're going to do to yourselves what you thought you was going to do to people who hadn't did you an atom's weight of harm. How many times did I invite them to come in here and tell me what evil have I done to you? What evil do you accuse me of? How am I harming you? Black or white people, just tell me what evil I did to you. Since you hate me so much, what evil did I do to you? I notice ain't none of you asking me what evil have you done to me. This has come to pass that it may be fulfilled, that they hated me without a cause. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, since I can't stop it, I just well to warn you and hope some of you got sense enough to get with me and stay out of that mess. You so anxious to go and murder somebody, huh? Okay. You must have forgot. So I'm going to remind you. Allah said, thou shalt not kill. Now, in your world, you had laws. You know, bank robbing is against the law. That's stealing, ain't it? Robbery. Robbery is another word for stealing. Huh? Taking what don't belong to you, ain't you? Okay. See how you've been living under what you call Sharia law in another form? Oh, yeah. If you look at the Constitution and things that the Constitution says do and don't do, and the laws of the state that they say do and don't do, you'll discover that most of them is patterned after the Word of God. If you wasn't so dense, you would have been known that. That's the only reason your country became so great. It's because it's a shadow of the world to come. No compulsion in religion. Congress shall make no laws. Respecting the establishment of religion. nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That's the word of God. Let he that is athirst, let him come and drink of the water of life freely. Didn't say nothing about force feeding. They got an old saying, you can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make him drink. Huh? You see? They've been telling you that you've been living under the laws of God. You just didn't pay no attention. Even put it on your money. In God we trust. Now, Mississippi just came out with a, I don't know if they're going to put that flag on there, but whatever flag they settle on, I like this new one they got, but it's up to the majority of the people. But on that flag, it's going to have in God we trust. Do you understand? It's not in the gun, in guns we trust. Hitler had a whole bunch of guns. But what happened to him? Mussolini, Hitler, and all them superior white folks. If you could convince yourself of that, I mean, when you start off based on a lie, how in the world you think you're going to wind up being victorious? Only truth makes you victorious. Falsehood neither originates nor can it reproduce. To reproduce is to be perpetual. Huh? Is to do over and over. How in the world are you going to be perpetual if your whole foundation of what you believe in is based on a lie? I know what you know, but you don't know what I know. So how are you superior to me? And how am I inferior to you when I know more than you do? And you poor thing, let me show you. I'm trying to save your life. That's why I'm talking to you like this. Because I want you remember when I was fussing at the young man who came in here and I was telling him that that he came from black people? And he said, no, he didn't. And I said, well, where did you come from? And he told me he's going to go on Google and he'd be back. I said, well, you go find it on Google. And he came back and he said, well, it kept on giving me the runaround, so I have to agree with you. You remember that? Yeah. This is the way I reach people. You can't reach people by going along with them just to get along. Anyone who just tell you things so as not to ruffle your feathers or thinking they're going to get some friendship with you and they just tell you what you want to hear, that ain't no friend. Friends tell you what you need to hear. And you don't never need to hear a lie. I'll tell you what, when you're hungry, do you need to eat sawdust? I didn't hear you. When you thirsty, do you need to drink urine? You need the truth. Even if that truth is painful, you still need that truth. Because the truth is the thing that will free your mind from serving lies and worshiping lies. Huh? The word should have been spelled WORDSHIPPING. Wordshipping. But then it wouldn't have been no mystery, would it? So, if you go to Job, the 12th chapter, and I say Job because that's what you understand it to mean, but Job is what it really is. Tell me something. If Allah said he made me a watchman, isn't being a watchman a job? Yeah. So part of my job here, I'm over here in the book of Job. Then it said, and Job answered and said, remember now, I was told to eat up the word so that the word and me would become one. Because you are what you eat, right? Okay. No doubt, but you are the people. Yeah. You are the people in charge. You are the people that have dominion. And wisdom shall die with you. Look what has happened. The House of Representatives and the Senate and the office of president and the Supreme Court, they are called the executive, the legislature, and the judicial branches, the three branches that compose the United States government. They used to function as separate entities, and they were designed to function separately to avoid tyranny, to avoid, they have a saying in this world that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Most people, they didn't know what that meant because I could prove to them they didn't know what it meant. And I would ask them one question. Does God have power? And they would all say yes. Does God have absolute power? And they would say yes. I mean, that's what you've been saying in your prayer. Thine is the kingdom and the what? And the power. Is God corrupt? And they would say no. And then to them, that statement would have become a lie. But you know, power only corrupts corruptible people. Someone is corruptible, then power will corrupt them. Huh? And if you give a corruptible person absolute power, it will corrupt him absolutely. Do you understand? So, but anyway, so wisdom will die with him, because giving a person power, if their wisdom is limited, then their power must be limited. You can't give absolute power to a person with limited wisdom. If you do, you're in trouble. Do you understand? So this is what I was just telling you. White people that hear me say things like this, do you think I'm being offensive to you? Is what I'm saying offending you, that you think I'm talking down to you? Anybody got their hand up? All I'm doing is telling you the truth. Now I'm showing it to you. The third verse, it says, but I have understanding as well as you. I am not inferior to you. Yeah. Who knoweth not such things as these? Huh? There's a whole lot of people didn't know that the white man had a manifest destiny. You didn't even never ask what is manifest destiny. How many of y'all heard it said about manifest destiny? Did you really know what it meant? And you didn't even ask. He wouldn't have told you no way. But he had a written destiny. So, no doubt, but you are the people that was given dominion for the past 6,000 years. But remember, it's something else that I didn't tell the brother today, because, I don't do no bunch of private teaching. Every now and then I'll be talking with some of the brothers and I share some things with them. But the main thing is it's like when the messenger told us the history of what Yaqub told his people. As he told them, he said, go out and deceive all that you can for 6,000 years. And after 6,000 years, your brother from the east is going to come and he's going to eat you up. And so the main thing that the messenger was saying, most of us, including me, missed. And because we was busy thinking that everything was flesh. The devil is not flesh, and God is not flesh. Flesh is weak. You can't fix your mouth to call God weak. But he said, my strength is made perfect in weakness. Huh? What is another word for perfect? I'm going to create a mortal of sounding clay, of black mud fashioned into shape. So when I have made him, I need. Well, what's another word for perfect? Complete. And when you complete something, what do you say? You what? You're finished. When the seventh angel shall sound, the mystery of God shall be what? Now the word is made flesh, and the mystery, the Holy Scriptures, now that there's a flesh and flesh in blood guide for human beings. As Prophet Muhammad told his people, he said, on the day of judgment, I will be the leader for all human beings. Yes, the head of every man is what? Is Christ. And the head of Christ is God. So I'm here. And who was Christ? All of those men whom you called prophets and messengers. Do you understand? And I am the son that their knowledge brought into being. The sun out in the sky is a made sun. I am a begotten son, son of righteousness. Do you understand? Do I not shed light on the scriptures that's shining in darkness and you couldn't comprehend? And the book could not talk, so it could not explain itself. The light shined in darkness. The light shined in print, but the print understood it not. Huh? Like the old saying, a sword can't cut itself and a gun can't shoot itself. Right? It is an instrument, isn't it? Okay? The book is my instrument, where my power, my knowledge was hidden. That's why it's written, God came from semen, not Teman, semen. And the Holy One from Mount Paran. And it said he had horns coming out of his hands. You know, a ram have horns, you know. But the horns are not pointed. They are made for battering and not for goring and you know, drawing blood. And so I take the Holy Scriptures and hurl it against the misunderstanding that you have been taught. And it exercises, you know, that falsehood out of your head. And truth takes the place of it. You see? Do you understand? So you see, it's right there in the book. There's wisdom shall die with you. See, now the Senate and the House of Representatives, they done forgot how to govern. Look at Mitch McConnell and them. They done turned the presidency into a rubber stamp, and they running the country from the Senate. You see what's going on, right? You heard Mitch McConnell bragging about all these crooked judges they done put in there? Yeah. They don't care what they doing to the country. They just got their little warped mind thinking they doing something really slick. What's going to happen? I told you was going to see your president go crazy right there on TV. Do he act like he's sane? He looks sane to you. When he talking, do he sound sane? Here the FBI told them these men was plotting to kidnap and murder the governor. He said he don't know if they're doing anything wrong or not. That's the same thing he said about Russia interfering with the election, didn't he? You let a coward like that punk your government. Wisdom shall die with you. And that's what it said, man. But I have understanding as well as you. Huh? What? You think he that made the ear, that he can't hear? And he that made the tongue and created the tongue, he can't speak? And that formed the eye, you think he's blind? Yeah, only thing I'm blind to is all your wrongdoing. And for that, and I needed to be blind for that in order to be a savior for you. Because if I concentrate on all the wrong you've been doing, I wouldn't want to do nothing but destroy you. So it's good that you reminded me, even in your symbol for justice, that justice have to put a blindfold on. As I was telling the brother, I said, brother, it's very unjust to condemn a creature just because he's doing what God made him for. So, you know, but don't you come in here call yourself gonna throw that back at me, because you still doing the evil. I'm here now. We don't need no more of that. That's why your maker told you in my day, stop. Or your mind gonna be taken from you. You're gonna be put to death. When the mind can't think, you dead. And you can see you, a bunch of you losing your mind, walking around here in a pandemic, ain't got no mask on, and talking about it's going to pass on, it's going to go away. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, that would have been a neat trick. All we had to do is say, God, what you sending all these prophets for? Well, I mean, sin going to go away eventually. We don't need no Bible. We don't need no Holy Quran. Sin gonna go away on its own. Oh yeah? We've been around here for trillions of years, and sin been with us. So it wasn't gonna go away on its own. If diseases and things would just go away on their own, we never would have needed an immune system. Dummy. Yes. What is it?
Yes, sir. The interference that you're having right now.
What you mean? Wait a minute. What interference? We ain't having no interference.
Well, yeah, you were saying sometimes there's something that you have to do on your end. That if you don't do that when you're speaking, there's that feedback.
Oh, you talk. I might have had this microphone next to that speaker there. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just start cutting that mic off. No, I'll just move it away because then I couldn't hear y'all. Okay, is that better?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Thank you.
So I want all of you to know that it's nothing you say that has not been covered by Allah's word. You see, even the part where you call us inferior to you. See, I just answered you out of the word of God. I'm not inferior to you. I know what you know. Come in here and tell me you know what I know. As Jacob left word for his people. Didn't no white man ever meet Jacob? You know, they didn't need to meet his flesh. It wasn't his flesh that was guiding them. It was the mind that was in him. He left the knowledge of how to make devils and how they could govern for 6,000 years, how they could have dominion and, you know, go around taking people's property and stuff. He left the knowledge of how to do things, make weapons and stuff like that. And so he taught them enough and gave them a language, you know, that they would be able to rule with. You know, English is a language that is so broad that even when you speaking it, oftentimes, unless someone is very fluent in it, you can be speaking English, and to them who are listening, it's like you speaking a foreign language. They be getting a whole different understanding of everything you saying. Just like when I told you Donald Trump said he's going to drain the swamp, and you always clapping for him and everything. I told you, what are you clapping for? You must not understand what he's saying. What he's saying is he's going to get rid of your government. What has he been doing? You believe me now, don't you? Well, almost too late. We'll see after this election. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they done put their people in positions to count the votes in every state and in the states enough to do what's got to be done. I don't know. We'll know in a little while. And if that be the case, you done lost your republic, just like Ben Franklin warned you. He said, I've given you a republic we've given you a republic if you can keep it. But you went to sleep. You did like them banks did on Wall Street. You know, too big to fail. And they just started doing all kind of old crazy stuff. And if it had not been for the Obama administration taking what George Bush and them was talking about doing, which was bailing them all out and them banks out, all your local banks would have went bankrupt. And then you'd have had to call on the Federal Depositors Insurance, and they've been printing money probably, and money wouldn't have been worthless other than just to pacify you. But anyway, so you thought America just run itself? These people convinced you that don't make no difference who's president and who's the president, because the what did Grover Norquist say? He said for the next 20 years, leadership is going to come out of the House and the Senate. He's telling you. That's why Donald Trump, Dunny, stands up there and says, when they ask him, are you taking any responsibility? He said, no, I don't take no responsibility. Huh? But you still didn't get it. And all of them that called Mitch McConnell Moscow Mitch, they must have been knowing that he was crooked. But why didn't you get him out of there before he did harm to your nation? Well, they found your Achilles tendon. They found your Achilles heel is your racism and bigotry. So they played on that. And while you was practicing your racism and bigotry, they was busy taking over your government. So, yeah. Yes. What is it? You're unmuted, caller.
I'm sorry, so the feedback is back again.
Okay. All right, we'll see. I think we just took care of that too. I forgot we had two speakers on. All right. So I want you to you notice I can't even hardly get nobody to talk to me no more. Well, I told you that when Isaiah said, sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. I told you, that's not no request. That's the same let him be as it says, let there be light. Let there be a firmament. Huh? I wasn't in doubt that one day you was going to learn to be scared of me. Because I'm the Lord. So if you ain't got no better sense than come in here clowning, I'll teach you to be scared of me. Allah told me how to teach you. He said, cast them in the hell. I'll uphold what you say. That's the one thing people can never accuse me of. Even before I was aware that I'm the Son of Man. I defy you to go find somebody that could accuse me of being disrespectful to them. Go and find somebody that said that, yeah, Marvin was always disrespectful. Go find them. But I have been taking disrespect off of people all my life. mean, people just take a disliking to me, and I didn't even know why. Until they just push and push and push, and then I had to tell them off. I just couldn't take it no more. I said, look here. I mean, what are you doing? Why are you trying to do to me what you don't want done to you? So, there was a time when wickedness was made to seem prosperous, and righteousness was seemingly punished. And this world coined the phrase, no good deed will go unpunished. Because this world was set up to try you. You say you believe in God, you believe in righteousness. Well, go out there and practice righteousness in the world of the devil and see if the devil can make you turn on God. You know, to put all of these weak, unqualified people on the federal bench. The lower courts have a lot of unqualified judges. That's why you always have to appeal. But the higher up you go, the more intelligent and the more rooted in law this system was designed to be. But now look at it. How can you have a democratic republic, a government that is purely elective, if it's elected by the people? How do you sustain that government if you impede or work to prevent certain parts of the society from voting? Then you no longer have a democratic republic. You're a bunch of hypocrites. You sit up out there with your so-called unrighteous indignation. You do wrong to people, and then you justify your wrong by some false sense of I'm superior, so I have a right to do that. And that's a sign of inferiority. When you have to make up a excuse to do something that you are doing. When someone asks you, why did you do that? And the only answer you can give is because I'm superior. You put Michael Vick in jail for having dogs fight each other. According to you, he was taking misadvantage of those inferior animals, making them do things that wasn't in their best interest. You claim you are superior to us, and then you mistreat us. Out of fear that we gonna do something to you? Superior beings do not fear inferior beings. No, you're just the devil. And I mean, we've been telling the world that. And I notice now you ain't coming in here telling me you ain't the devil. And I'm telling you that if you don't stop your devilishment now, I'm going to get rid of you. Now, I know you think, oh, yeah, you can't get you going to, how you going to, you just wait and see. Just wait and see. I told you I was going to shut your mouth one day, didn't I? What is your mouth doing now to me? And everybody that follow you, I'm going to get rid of all of you. I offered you salvation and you turned me down. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told you that I have learned that I can remove Satan at once. But I'm offering you a chance. And he said, I warn you, accept it and glorify him. That's what he told you about me. All of the prophets told you that. Now, you ain't gonna have no cry against me because I offered you salvation. I offered you forgiveness because I knew it wasn't your fault. But you done fell in love with doing wrong. And at first, you was justified because we let you think that at the end of 6,000 years that you was going to be murdered. But I took that away. I told you, no, that's not what we was talking about. We was talking about getting rid of the mind that we put in you by giving you a complete mind instead of that half a mind we gave you. But now you want to keep on killing us. Well, I can't let you do that. I showed you an example. You see white people taking guns, getting up in buildings and shooting other white people. What, you think we made you and we ain't got no control over what we made? You got all these diseases of the mind now, just people, Alzheimer's hitting people. You thought it was an old folks disease. Now you're finding out it ain't. Anybody can get it. What you think? You've been being protected from all of the poison and stuff that you've been eating and putting in your body. All we have to do is just turn that loose on you. All them worms that you've been eating, living poison from pig, for instance, that we've been causing to die inside of you. Well, you better go read the book again. It says, and their worm dieth not. Okay, keep on clowning. Okay, just keep clowning. All right. I tried. I got witnesses that I tried. So, who got something they want to say to me? Don't block them. I want to hear from them. Always listen when people got something they think need to take up with you. I like people to. I mean, these people, just all of them going crazy together. Man, come out, they ain't gonna never control the virus. What kind of stuff is that to say? You ain't gonna control it. What did? Let us make man in our image after our likeness and let them have dominion. What is dominion? Control over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Now this boy think he's ruling. He thinks that what he doing gonna make him rule, and he stands up there talking about we ain't gonna never control this virus. Well, that's because dominion, the kingdom being taken from him. Huh? Man, you if you ain't gonna control it, you need to step down. Huh? I told you. If you elect Joe Biden for president, I'm gonna do all I can to help him be successful. I will do all I can. If you keep electing decent people, you got me on your side. Because I can build the new nation of Islam without tearing down the United States. I don't need to tear them down. As the messenger said, we're not trying to overthrow the government. We're just trying to overthrow your ignorance. Do you understand? I'm glad to see so many that's now agreeing with me. You know, I was looking at the news a little while before I came on. See if I can get it.
About not losing focus on COVID, but all of the president's actions about his own people tell the COVID story as well. And the Washington Post is reporting this afternoon that the White House has abandoned any efforts to try to understand the outbreak under its own roof, the one that claimed Hope Hicks and Chris Christie and Bill Stepien, the president's campaign manager, and Donald and Melania Trump and Barron Trump, their son. There's now another outbreak claiming at least 5 people in the vice president's most senior political and government advisors. And they have abandoned any effort and don't plan to contribute to the country's scientific understanding of how a virus mutates.
It remind me of Jim Jones. I mean, when he finally just lost his crazy mind, he was through with Jonestown. He was sick of it too. He wasn't gonna say that though. Well, I mean, let's face it. When you start talking about suicide, then the thing that you was telling people was gonna bring them peace didn't even bring you no peace. So let's just kill ourselves. What is this walking around here without a mask on when you see that 227,000 American citizens have died from this virus? One in 35 people dying from it. And you don't take it seriously? I don't like them odds. Do you? 127,000 Americans dead from a virus. And this man's sitting up there talking about, we ain't going to control it. We're not going to have dominion over that virus. Joe Biden was right. That man claimed he was a wartime president against that unseen enemy. He done surrendered. Huh? And telling you to give up. Just go on and die. Let it kill as many of us as it can kill. Matter of fact, let's help it. Don't wear no mask. That's what he's saying in his deeds and that. If he say he ain't gonna control it, that means don't wear no mask. Huh? Don't do no research. Stop all the research and everything. And as far as he's concerned, it's useless. Because what? It wouldn't surprise me if he got on Air Force One and flew to Russia or North Korea and sent your plane back to you. and with a note on it. Thank you. I don't need y'all no more. After he done turned you against each other and got you over here ready to kill each other. And then he jumped ship and gone back to his secondary citizenship. I don't know how many places he got citizenship. He got bank accounts in China and stuff and in Russia. And they ain't talked about the bank accounts he got in Russia. So, I mean, and it serves you right. You knew what you was getting when you put him in there. Where's all of them people that were so supportive of him and call themselves mad at me for standing up here saying something about Donald Trump? Come on in there and talk to me and tell me why you still supporting Donald Trump. And convince me that you are sane. If you can convince me that you are sane, I'll support him too. Now, come in here and convince me that you're sane. I just want to ask you a few questions. That's all. Come on now, you done voted for him already. Come on in there and let's talk. For what I have found is most of you all can't even hold a civil conversation with anybody that disagrees with you. You know, when you talk to a sane person, they will agree with you on truth. For that's the only way you can be sane, is that you must be rooted. You must have a mind that is rooted into reality, into truth. Now come in here and talk to me. I meant what I said. If you can convince me that you are sane and you supporting Donald Trump, then your reason for supporting Donald Trump is justified. And if it's justified with one of us, it's justified for all of us to continue to support him. But how do you justify supporting a man that every time he opened his mouth, he's lying? How do you justify that? You bad as that Hinckley, whoever his name was, talking about a dog told him to go shoot the president. A dog told him. And he said it just matter-of-factly. You know, this country got more insane asylums than any country on earth. Have you ever visited a place for the insane? You'll be surprised. I mean, there's so many people in this country that have been declared insane. You driving people crazy. People practicing your way of life and losing their mind. Look at you. You think more of money than you do the lives of the people who spend the money to make you wealthy. You don't give a damn about the people. All you want is their money. You ain't even got sense enough. You ain't that ain't even good business sense. You got lots of customers. You ought to want your customers to stay healthy so they can keep on spending money with you. You got a factory. You ought to want your workers to be healthy so they can keep working for you and making money for you. You're an idiot. And every time you open your mouth, you prove it. Let's open up the schools, open up, fine, open it up. But let's let the doctors and the scientists tell us how to do that safely. No, we gonna go on and open it up. I'll tell you what he's really concerned about is all that crookedness he's been doing that he might have to pay for. He don't want there to be no United States when he leave office. Because if there be any Justice Department or any United States government when he leave office, they might bring him to justice. And everybody who worked with him. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm in the sovereign state of Mississippi. And you know white folks don't take nothing off no Negroes in Mississippi. Historically, even white people in Mississippi have shown respect to me. And I think even they done had enough of this foolishness that he putting down. You know, it's not an intelligent person that would burn their house down when they don't have another one to go into. Do you honestly want a government that is not based on justice, but on friendship and kinship? Is that what you want to live under? You sure you want that? What happens when some friendship and kinship get up there that may not consider you a friend? You see that happen all over the world. You see that happen. You've seen that kind of government before. Why would you want to imitate something that you saw in the end? Even the leaders of it committed suicide. Hitler committed suicide, according to the history. Huh? Why would you want to go down his path? When they offered George Washington a throne, he turned them down. And as good as told them, look, we just got off from under one tyrant. Now you want to become what you just fought a war to get off from under? Well, we'll see. All right. Boy, this is really something. Don't have the thought in your heart to murder your fellow man, and Allah will spare you. If you can't help your fellow man, just leave him alone. Don't hurt him. Because if that's your intent, you might think that you finna murder a bunch of people, but no, Allah gonna turn you on yourself. You mark my words. You just mark my words. Everybody with murder in their heart, the only one they're gonna be murdering is themselves and the people that they think they love. So you're gonna get enough of hating folks that cared about you. I remember the messenger asked us once. He said, brother, when you helped the white man get rid of everybody that cared about you, when you help him get rid of all your friends, who gonna help you against your enemies? I mean, these people are so cowardly. I even asked them. I said, okay, all of you who think that I'm harmful to the United States, that somehow I'm a harm to this government or something, unmute your phone and tell me what harm you think I am. Or you want me to butt out of your politics? Just unmute your phone and tell me to butt out. I'll butt out. I'll just let go. I'll leave you alone, just like an alarm clock that go off and you decide to cut it off. Because I've been warning you for the past 40-something years. So, I mean, it ain't like, Noah, it came an end to Noah's warning the people. He even told him, you've been talking this talk for 120 years, Noah. Bring on what you promised. He said, it's not for me to bring it on. He said, Allah will bring it on when he decides. Then Noah, he had compassion on his people. And then he reached a point where it was revealed to him that none of your people are going to believe but those who already believe Noah. So you go on and enter into the ark. And so Noah told him, yes, Allah, you gone and don't leave a soul on it. And so that was that. So it's starting to make me feel the same way as Noah did. You know, I mean, people ain't gonna believe nothing I'm saying. They walk by me day and night. They don't pay me no attention. So, wishing I was dead. So, you know, I mean, what can you say? Mm, mm, mm. So, um, let me see what I want to teach you on now. Uh, I need to let you hear the messenger on the album, "The Judgment of the World Is Now." But he said a lot of things that people just, you know. Let me see here. Uh, I'm looking for something in particular uh, that he said. Maybe I'll just bring up that one and try to scroll through. Uh, what'd you say, bro? And, instead of looking for just one, now I'll just later on I'm gonna sing a level out. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see.
The preacher of freedom, justice, and equality too. It is the cause of an act of an evil one that did not love truth and right and wanted to make a complete people who also did not or would not love truth and righteousness and justice. That they may mislead us in the way of righteousness. And this way, turning the whole nation of the earth, the aboriginal people, the black man, into following them, believing in them in their falsehood, he would be able to carry down at the day of resurrection, day of judgment, for everyone that did not have the knowledge of him. Of them, as I should say, for they are a whole race of people. This people that I'm referring to is none other than the white race. They have rules.
Now I want you, especially white people, now that they know I don't hate them. I want Elijah Muhammad that you disagree. I want you to raise your hand and then press 5 star. I said 5 star, not star 5. Press 5 star on your keypad on your phone in those 601 conference rooms, and the brother will stop me immediately, and I will let you question me about what the messenger said that you may have taken offense at or that you may have thought was wrong. He didn't teach anything that was wrong. He taught things that was misunderstood, but he didn't teach things that was wrong. And I will straighten it out for you. And in the 712 conference room, you just press star 5. Star 6, and that will unmute you, and you can ask your question, and we can discuss it. I'm not here to run away from discussions of the teachings. If I could not answer questions on it, I ain't got no business teaching it. So,
According to their God, yeah, to forgive them the knowledge who made them and taught them how to rule us.
you'll notice, you see the Italians, the Italians go way back, Jesus' day and time in Rome, where Caesar, his face was on the penny, on the money, and they asked Jesus, was it lawful to pay taxes? And Jesus asked them the question. He says, whose is the image and the superscription on that penny? They brought him a penny, and he asked whose image and superscription is on there. And they said, Caesar's. Well, that lets you know Jesus was there dealing with a satellite of Rome, if not in Rome. Do you understand? And they said, Caesar's. And Jesus said, well, then, render the things unto Caesar that belong to Caesar, and unto God the things that belong to God. Huh? Okay. Remember the Jews, they was having a conference the same way America put these who call themselves Jews in power over there in Israel there. The Jews was talking, they said, this man, Jesus, talking about, he said, he doing many miracles, and if we leave him alone, we let him continue thus doing these things, all men gonna believe on him, and the Romans, they gonna come and take away our place and the nation. They're gonna take away our positions from us and the nation. And so the Romans kept them in power in them days, back in them days. So the Christians and the Jews go way back. You understand? See, y'all, they've been crooks a long time. And it's time to know the truth now. Now, if you hear me say something that you take offense at, you come in here and discuss it with me, and I'll show you where I'm getting mine from, and then you show me how I'm wrong. You see? But now I want you to listen, because you remember the Italians, they say he's a made man, right? What do you mean he's a made man? You mean he's a mischief maker and a bloodshedder, that he was made to do these things. And now he has a knowledge that that's what he was made for. Huh? He's learned the truth. Huh? Yeah. When Yaqub, the maker of white people, when he said, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth, he meant he was going to place a certain knowledge of how to rule, a certain mind, a certain mentality in an earthen vessel. He said, so when I have made him, he said, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. And he didn't go no further with that. than that. For when he said that, the angels questioned him. So his uncle questioned him. He said, "What will you make? Something that will make mischief and shed blood in the land?" He said, "Nevertheless, I understand something that you don't understand. Do you understand? I know what you know not." And they didn't question him no further. Huh? And in the Bible, it simply says that, and God said, the grantor of dominion said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion." You know, it's just like where they got the practice of having a 12-man jury. They got that from the black man. We had 12 gods, 12 rulers, and they made decisions and about what went on and goes on this earth for trillions of years. We had that. We never had one God. We had one act as the judge, but we were never under just one ruler. We had 12, and each one of them had a turn that they would take. 25,000 years, each one had could put his wisdom out there and let people practice it for 25,000 years to see if they could come up with a perfect way of life. And they wasn't able to do it, you see. And they've been trying and trying and trying. But we ain't never had perfect peace on earth. Never. The white man ain't the first time we had wicked people on the earth. The people of Noah, there wasn't no white people in it. It was all black people. And you saw what happened. They got drowned for their wickedness. And so it's not like this is the first wicked people that have been on the earth. It's the first time we had a completely wicked people on earth. And that is what, and even with that, you had some that was an exception to that, because you just cannot, knowing that you come out of the original man. Even there are some white people who, even though they may have been silent, they didn't like what they saw going on either. So, but the point is, we made a devil so that we could produce a wiser black man. And that's what time it is now. It's time for wisdom to take charge. That's why I'm standing up here. And that's why I can stand up and talk to the whole world, because I'm not just a possessor of wisdom. I am wisdom. See, that's why I quickly understand things. Once you tell me how something works, I can tell you how to best use it to fit it into what we, to what we are doing, which is building a civilization, an upright civilization. You see, wisdom is knowing how to best use knowledge and understanding to gain the greatest amount of benefit from it. That's what I have, and that's what I am. One who knows how to use what others know and understand to get the greatest benefit from it. So,
past 6,000 years, this has been done. And they brought us up without the knowledge of ourselves, making us afraid of them in the day of judgment in which we now live. Who will judge the Son of Man? Who is this Son of Man, you may question? He is a man that the Almighty God of the black man's nation made for the purpose of being the judge today. He's called and is known as the Son of Man. This makes it clear to you from both scripture books. That is the Bible and Quran. That you don't expect anything but a man to sit judge over the nations of the earth on the day of judgment.
I like to remind people, even my title, Son of Man. Huh? Okay, over in the 8th chapter of John, you tries to make Jesus something other than a man, but Jesus said this. He said, this is the 39th verse. Well, the 38th verse, I'll start there. Jesus said, I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and you do that which you have seen with your father. Excuse me. Now let's read it in a way you can understand it. He said, I speak that which I have understood with my mind, and you do that which you have understood with your mind. Huh? I know you agree with me. You see what I mean? Oh, so you do see, huh? Right. Okay, then it says, they answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. And the mind that we have come from Abraham. Jesus said unto them, if you were Abraham's children, if the mind that was in you came from Abraham, you would do the works of Abraham. Said, but now you seek to kill me. A what? A what? So you do agree that a man can judge you, because you've been claiming that Jesus is going to come back and judge you, right? So you do look for a man to do that, right? And be the judge of the world no more. I am the judge of the world. And if I'm not the judge of the world, let somebody from some other country type something and tell me I ain't your judge, and let's see if I'm your judge. So let's go some more here.
As the 21st of the chapter 45 of the whole Quran, it reads something like this. And thou wilt see every nation kneeling down. Every nation will be called to its record. Now, the 29th verse says, this is our record that speaks against you with truth. Surely we wrote what you did. This is the voice of the Son of Man in the judgment.
I'll show you an example. There is a written history of the United States and the slavery of black people in the United States. Is that correct? Surely we wrote what you did. This is our record that speaks against you, along with scripture. The scripture said Abraham's seed were going to be a stranger in a land that was not theirs and would serve them, and they would be afflicted by them 400 years. Show me the history of another people that was enslaved by our people and afflicted by our people for 400 years, other than the American so-called Negro. Then by process of elimination, We are the people that prophecy in Genesis was referring to. Then the United States is the land of promise, the land where the prophecies of God would be fulfilled. And this is why I told Donald Trump, I told all of you who over here call yourself destroying America, destroying the United States. I told you, you better get out of here. You don't like this country, the best thing you could do is pack your stuff and get you a plane to wherever it is you in love with, because you interfering with God's business here. Allah said, leave me alone with him whom I created, and gave him vast riches and sons dwelling in his presence, and yet he desires more. He wants my place. You better get out of here. You better stop your interfering in Allah's plans for the United States. You know, if you look at the term Job, did you ever check out the land where Job was at? He was in Uz, U-Z. No, that should have been U.S. It was close though, wasn't it? I'm warning you, you better leave us alone. Well,
over us. And every action that we taken was written, whether it was good or bad. The evil opponent, the devil in person, an open enemy of ours, deceiving us all these centuries and thousands of years. Today puts on one of the greatest shows that ever was put on by man to get us to go to hell with him. Temptation. He knows the nature of us. That man always have that nature to want to do. This he laid hold on. Up until this very minute, he's trying to use his woman, his son, and daughter to tip the black man in America and throughout the world of man. They're in Africa, Asia, trying to tip the black man to accept their woman and their sons. Take them. Don't have to marry them. Do what you please with them. Just so long as you commit the act with them, this is all we want to do. They don't love you any more today than they loved you 100 or 1,000 years ago. What the act is to bring you and this favor and this light to your God, your salvation, and your people of your country. This is what's going on today. We know what he's trying to do, and you should know, my foolish brother, who is now being tempted by them. They don't want you for nothing but their doom. To hell with them. Because of what? Because you have a good chance, a free chance to go to heaven, to see the hereafter. But they don't have it. They were not made to go to heaven.
No. I was the only one made to go to heaven. The book says, no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he who came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven. I was in the volume of the book. Where was the mind of the doctor before it took up residence in the doctor's head? It was in the book, wasn't it? And once that mind comes out of the book into that flesh, then that mind that came from that book can ascend back up into that book and explain that book. Is that right? Well, no man was able to ascend into heaven but me, because I'm the only one who came down from heaven. Do you understand? All right.
It was made for fuel for the fire of hell. There are people that come in a vacuum between our Cadillac history of 9,000 years to 15,000 years. This people, their maker, the God Yahoo.
Listen now. Listen.
A good chance, a free chance to go to heaven after. But they don't have it. They were not made to go to heaven. They was made for fuel for the fire of hell.
That's why you can't go to their public school made to be able to teach the Holy Scriptures. When you go on the weekend, and even that's a sign that when they time ends, then the scriptures be taught. Huh? And so on the weekend, you go there and then he mock the prophets and pretend to be teaching you the scripture. He ain't teaching you nothing but lies. When he say this it mean, this what that mean, this what that mean. The scripture already told you. You could kill him outright if you just ask him, show me that understanding that you just gave me in the scripture. For no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation. That's what the scripture says. But every interpretation you give is your private interpretation. And a lot of them, they just tell you, well, to me, that means so-and-so and such and so and so. Well, I don't care what it means to you. I want to know what it meant to the one who said it. What did it mean to God? That's why they don't argue. They don't try to argue with me. They know that's an exercise in futility. Huh? Now listen, he finna tell you where you came from, and he's about to tell us all what this is really all about. You know this. In the end, I like that. You know, the last two parts of Matrix, all of it was a decent story. That black woman wrote a beautiful little story there because it was rooted in truth. You know, that we was asleep, living in a dream world, huh? And wasn't really living in reality. We was living in a a false reality. And then one of us, just like all of them different Neos. Remember when he went into the door of light, and he met the architect, and then the architect showed him all them TVs behind him, and he found out this wasn't the first time that they had met, And so he was one of many, right? But he was the same one all of the time, really. Do you understand? So you see why, like when Mr. Neubauer asked me when did I get crucified and when was I hung on the cross, and I told him what you did to Jesus, that was me. See, you hung up on the flesh. It's not the flesh that was important. It was the mind that was in the flesh. The mind that was in Jesus is standing here talking to you. The mind that was in Moses is standing here talking to you. The mind that was in David and Solomon and all of them, that mind is standing right here talking to you. And you, the same devil was in Pilate, the same devil that was in them that said let him be crucified, the same wicked mind. This time, your time is up. You're going to either change or you're going to vanish like a cloud. Just listen.
There are people that come in a battle between our Cadillac history.
At a time when black people couldn't, the scientists of black people, the rulers, they couldn't think of anything new to do. Everything that they had, all of them, for trillions of years, they've been doing things. But they had reached a point where everything they thought of had already been tried. So, Yakub, he knew something that hadn't been done. We had never tried ourselves at being ruled wisdom. And once that new wisdom was completed, you couldn't put new wine in old bottles. So that's where Abraham's seed come from. So Abraham's seed stripped down. So Allah told Abram that his seed was going to be made as the stars of heaven, but as the sands of the sea too. So all praise is due to Allah. And from us being reduced to dust with water on it, you notice when they started educating us, that was like pouring water on people that had been reduced to dirt. And then we became mud. And from that mud, Allah fashioned me. I was born out of my people's condition. And now I'm standing up here talking to the whole world as Allah promised. And the devil's tricks, he get in trouble for trying to do it to me. And the messenger said it earlier. He said, to hell with them. And that was telling me what to do when they want to come in here playing their little game. So I don't mind having a serious conversation with you, but I ain't here to play with you. Now, if you want to come in here and try to make a joke out of me, I'll throw your behind in hell. See how much of a joke I am then.
This people, the America, the God Yaku, a black original man. He told them, and deceive all you can. For 6,000 years.
Okay. So how do I justify? How could I justify standing up here talking about I want to take revenge on them if they was only following the orders of us? You remember when the part of the Matrix that was the Oracle was talking to Neo and she told him there were certain things that it wasn't time for you to know. And he said, whose idea was that? And she that thing that said, know thyself. He said, oh, mine. Huh? You remember that? Or was you too busy being entertained? But anyway, he said, well, I think it's time for me to know. She said, well, I do too. And so she started telling him everything. She said, it's going to end one way or the other. You know, one of y'all going to do. But she already knew how it was basically going to end this. Everything that has a beginning has an ending, Neo. What does that mean? Most people don't understand that. Most people don't understand are the same. They are one in the same. The beginning of a string is the end of the string. It's the beginning and the ending. Do you understand? I am the first and the last. I am God and the devil. Do you understand that? The lion shall lie down with the lamb. Your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh to and fro, seeking whom he may devour. The earth and the atmosphere are one. Do you understand that? Smith and Neo were one. In the end, they were one again, wasn't they? Then Smith understood that, and then he always, it's not fair, it's not fair. Well, it is fair. I gave you life. But what made you think you was going to take it away from me? Give it back. So when he thought he was taking something, he was actually giving it back. Do you understand? Well, he called himself brainwashing me by educating me into his knowledge. What he was actually doing was being consumed by me. That's what you do when you read a book. You're consuming knowledge. Well, I was consuming his mind in his grades 1 through 12 used to be, that was as far as you needed to go in school when I was growing up. If you got a college education, that was okay, but you could get any job, just about any job in America with a high school education when I was growing up. Huh? Ask the white man. He's listening to me. You know, I was born in. So, I was in the 60s. You see, and they used to tell us, like they're doing y'all now, telling you need a college education. They used to tell us, get your high school diploma. And if you want to get somewhere in life, you better get your high school diploma. Huh? That's what they was telling us. Of course, gas was 15 cents and 10 cents a gallon when I was growing up. Milk was Buttermilk was about 18 cents a quart, and what we call sweet milk was about 25 cents a quart when I was a child, you see. So I see how far America has fallen. So I'm not, you can't grow up in a place and not be affected. Well, how could I grow up and don't have any of the ideals and ideologies of the place that I grew up in? It's impossible for me not to have that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he respected this country and cared about this country. In his teachings, he showed us that. As he said, I could get into Russia today. He said, but I will not go to the enemies of America. I respect the American government. He said, and I will not go to their enemies seeking help. I don't need them. You see? And the American government respected the messenger. And they're learning to respect me. So, I'm not a person who just standing up trying to posture. How in the world are you going to convince other people to believe what you are teaching or preaching when they see you don't believe it? The whole world looking at you now. Do you really believe in a democratic republic or not? Then why are you letting this would-be tyrant sit in your country and destroy it from the highest office in the land? When every one of you took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against not just foreign enemies, but domestic enemies too. All of you took that oath. Why are you allowing yourself to be punked like this? Anyway, I'm just talking to you in your own language. That's all. We never sent a messenger but with the language of his people. Did you expect the Lord to come speak in another language? No, I speak your language. That's why everybody understands me. You notice when I ask for questions, don't nobody have no questions on something I was saying. When the last time you heard somebody really unmute to ask a question for clarity on something that I was saying? What you think takes me so long to teach? It's because I explain what I mean by what I say while I'm teaching. That's what keeps the devil from being able to twist what you say. That's another sign to him that I'm the Lord. You can't add nor take from what I say. You can only accept or reject it. And when people try to say, well, in other words, there ain't no other words to put what I say it in. I'm the best knower. And I've already chosen the best words. If you put it in any other words, you just messed it up. So, listen to what the messenger said when he said about this people, their maker. He told them to go out.
This people, their maker, the God Yahoo of black, he told them, and deceive all you can. For 6,000 years. And after 6,000 years, your brother from the east, oh man, he told them to go and deceive all you can. For 6,000 years.
Remember, in the book, it says, a day with their maker told them, go out and deceive all that you can for 6,000 years. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. Huh? But after 6,000 years, who's going to come? See, you got to listen. As the captain of the FOI used to say to us, he said, brother, you must learn to listen and then listen to learn. Listen what he said was coming after 6,000 years.
And after 6,000 years, your brother from the east.
Who? Who? Your brother? Didn't say your enemy. Said your brother from the east. The spiritual mind is brother to the natural mind. Don't your brain got two hemispheres in it? And they've told you that one is controls creativity and the other one is reasoning and that kind of thing. Huh? But they work as one, right? So they are brethren. Is that right? Okay. The brother from the east. Where did the Holy Bible come from? Was that a Western book? Or did it originate in the east before the United States even came to birth? The United States is just like us. The United States ain't but a little over 200 years old. Right? I mean, it's been here. I mean, the people in it, they was here over 400 and something years ago, as they say, 1492, right? But it wasn't called the United States then. They was colonies of England. They were called the 13 colonies, right? Okay. Now, so the United States just came into existence a little over 200 years ago. All right. Now, this cradle of civilization here. You notice everybody got a stock market now. Everybody got some of everything, but it all started in the U.S. basically from at least from England, and even though they had a stock market in England, it wasn't like this that they got now. It wasn't that sophisticated. So this is the cradle of civilization. This is where the Industrial Revolution took place. Huh? And so, as they grew to strength, at the end of 6,000 years, which was 1914, then a hail out of heaven, man, they was going around there, going in them tombs and stuff, and they didn't tell us everything they found in them tombs. They showed you them trinkets that they found in King Tut's tomb, but they didn't tell you about all of the other stuff they found in there. But what about them hieroglyphics that you said was the key to the Rosetta Stone? Well, they found the key to unlock the language of the hieroglyphics. And man, what did they find? What knowledge was revealed to them? A hail out of heaven. Huh? You know what hail is? Hail is frozen water, right? What is a book other than frozen knowledge? Is that right? So they got a hail out of heaven. And every stone was about the weight of a talent. This man went from riding on horses and buggies to flying faster than sound. He had been on this planet for 6,000 years and was just now getting to horses and buggies. And then he got internal combustion engines. And then he got flying faster than sound and all of that. Where did he get that from in less than 100 years and been around here 6,000? No, that ain't natural. I didn't hear you. All right, he ain't saying that. He's sitting there grinning though. Ain't you glad that I'm here? Yeah. It ain't your secret to tell no more. Now I'm revealing it to everybody. And the hail was so great that men began to blaspheme God. You come in here blaspheming and talking crazy again after you using knowledge that you got from us. Now you want to come in here cussing and swearing at me. I'll throw your behind in hell. And I'm sick of you walking around here with these guns threatening and looking all threatening to my poor people. Don't be scared of them. They ain't gonna do nothing to you. They about to get it done to them. So he said, your brother from the east. He didn't say your enemy from the east. He said your brother from the east. He's going to come and eat you up. What's another word for eat? Consume. Then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness, the understanding that accompanies him, with the brightness of his coming. Huh?
Will come and eat you up, meaning destroy you. You have this.
So I just wanted you to hear the truth. Is there anyone that disagrees with what I have shared? Now I'm going to tell you again. Wearing a mask is not a punishment. It's a way to protect you. And it's a way that if you are a carrier of that virus, if I'm a carrier of that virus, it is a way to protect others from me. And I care about other people. You know, Typhoid Mary, they called her. The one who was infecting others wasn't being hurt by that virus. But she was going around unknowingly transmitting that virus to people who didn't have her immunity. You know, when I see you walking around without a mask on amongst other people, that tells me something about your character. And I think I'm going to start casting people in hell when I see them walking around without. They ain't going to know I did it. But I'm just telling you, you want to go around other people, you know, when I go to town, I put me a mask on. The scientists have shown us that this is a serious, deadly virus. 227,000 American citizens are dead. How many of those deaths, all y'all that's walking around here without masks, how many of those deaths are you responsible for? That you don't give a damn about? Then why should I give a damn about you? Okay. All right. If there are no questions, do anyone have anything they want to ask me? Then I'm gonna cut it there instead of going that extra half hour. We're gonna call it a night right there. Care about other people as much as you would like to be cared about. Care for others as much as you would like to be cared for. You know, it's certain people that I have found that, you know, I just decided that don't care enough about me to try to keep me healthy. You know, I'm almost 70 years old. You know, they told you that the elderly are susceptible to that. And I walk in your business or whatever and see you sitting around there, letting people come in there without masks on and all that kind of stuff. You sitting up there without one on. That tell me you don't give a damn about me. Okay. You don't have to worry about me coming in your door no more. I'll leave you alone. Because you made it clear that if I'm dead, you wouldn't care. Okay. Right on. Anyway, I'll you know, you just never know what's in people until circumstances bring out what's in people. So, all right. Any questions? You know, may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. Those of us who are hungry and thirsty for his righteousness. May Allah's Salam alaikum.